Let's look at some of these cases and see if it fits into the description, because there have been several groups who have been agitating for payments to be made to them. Let's look at some of these ones now.
Aggrieved new members of staff of the Delta State government lay siege to the state government house in Asaba early in the day with various inscriptions on their placards. Their grouse is the suspension of their appointment. The spokesman of the group describes the action of the state government as traumatic.
Our job are being snatched from us. Yes. I see someone have removed food from our mouth, and we can't sit and fold our arms. We pass through the rigorous process. Civil service advertised, we applied, we were shortlisted, and we came for interview, and we passed. When we came for interview, we passed, and we were given our appointment letter. We went through the rigorous process of registration, and we started our work. After starting our work, about a 2-month plus, the new government took oath 29th May 2015. When the 24 hours of whoever is oath, he's sworn as a governor. What he does is to suspend, or that was the first decision into that the system that brought into system was corrupt, that there's irregularity.
The protesters say they are appealing to the state government to recall them back into the civil service.
What we are asking the governor to do is to call us back while he goes back and do his investigation. Yes. Let us resume our work, because we've almost 2 months now plus. We'll be working. No salary. But now he came and said he has suspended us.
The governor of the state has given the assurance that the outcome of an investigation into their appointment will be considered.
They set up a committee to examine the situation. When they bring the report, I'll look at it and take decisions. There are normal rules and normal processes for engagement of people. And when you are engaging people, it's also on the areas of need. On the areas of need, that's where it should be. Not, I know there are processes that should be put in place. So we are ready to understudy that. But to just recall workers when you're not satisfied about the process that led to the engagement, I don't think it's wrong. But for those who are, for the people who were taken last in April, I don't think I'm convinced until I get put out that they follow the due process.
As the state government insists on taking an appropriate position on the issue, the youths involved are hoping that their employer will not send them back into the unemployment market.
Osun State in Nigeria's southwest region, the streets look calm enough, but it's a deceptive calm. The government is owing workers and pensioners, and these has largely affected so many activities in the state. The civil servants say they are being owed 7 months' salaries. Pensioners say they've not received their entitlements for 8 months, a situation which they say has led to the unfortunate death of about 236 pensioners in the state. To protest the inability of government to pay, workers have downed tools, and almost every government activity has been put on hold. The state secretariat and local governments are all shut. Schools, the state broadcast station, and hospitals are also all empty and under lock and key. The people are united in their call for an urgent intervention.
I have my aged parent to feed. The 2 of them are aged, and imagine I've not been paid for the past 8 months. I have children in the university. Some of us have children in the secondary school, primary school, and you won't believe it that some of us who are chief lecturers have had our children sent back home from schools.
Alhaji Bisi Badiru is a 71-year-old retiree. He and his wife are pensioners, while his 2 children work for the state government. For his family, life has not been easy in the last 7 months.
I want to join the people who are appealing to the government, especially our governor, Rafa Arebosola, to have passion look at us, on us. We are no more healthy enough to go about to look for another source of livelihood, rather than what our pensions is every month.
Even the church is affected. The chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Osun State Chapter, is asking his members to assist the unpaid workers any way they can.
We have said this time with that number that the government should, as a matter of importance, abandon even all other things and care for the souls by giving them their entitlements so that the life can keep on going.
At the market, the traders and artisans are also complaining.
When we ask our customers, we have not seen you, did not buy market from us. They say they have not received their salaries and they don't have money, that everybody don't manage.
The governor of the state, Rauf Aregbesola, is not unmindful of the people's plight. At a recent public function, he again appealed to the workers and the pensioners.
I feel the pains you feel because I know what it is to work and not have the expected wage for your labor. Unfortunately, I'm helpless, and that's just the word to use. If there's any way I could assuage your pains, I will do it before we even go to this pass. Because unfortunately, we are at a juncture in our national life that we have to experience this.
For now, it's a wait-and-see situation. A wait with hope that change will be seen soon.
So two separate scenarios there, the one for Osun State and the previous one in Delta, wherein they say the first one, look, they lost their jobs, and the second about the wage, which the governor there says, look, we're at a serious situation in our hands at this stage in the states, even the country's history, he says. So does Labour lump those two scenarios or while agitating?
Well, I think from the two reports, you discover that Labour is at the receiving end. You know, a governor employed workers, which is normal. And then another governor is saying he wants to review employment. It doesn't happen that way. When they got employment letters, you know, the terms are there, you know, for disengagement or whatever. And then if somebody said that even the process of electing that governor was wrong, the first thing wouldn't have been, oh, since the process was wrong, stop serving as a governor until we finish the investigation. He could have gone ahead to investigate if there were people without certificate, if there was no interview, you know, why the guys are working. But he said he wants to investigate. I think there's a problem, you know, there on whether they were supporters of party A or B. That's why I say
it's the same party.
Yeah, that's the problem now. You know, if they are from the same party, you are now, it's like you are investigating the former government. And you are not investigating the contracts they awarded, but you are investigating the human beings they employed to do. And he has not said there were no vacancies for such jobs.
Well, isn't that the normal thing? That's when you're investigating something, you suspend the process or you suspend whatever it is that is there, pending when you conclude your investigation, and then you welcome those who were duly and rightfully employed. Isn't that how it's
Those
done?
people are still
perhaps even pay them a backlog for work that was not done.
Those people are still innocent, you know, until they are proved guilty. So do you now suspend them before investigation? You know, he could have reviewed, you know, the employment, you know, carried out by his predecessor and come out with probably a white paper. You know, and those whose employments were not properly conducted, he will ask them out.
All right. Okay, that's where we'll have to let it go today. Thank you for coming on this morning. Joe Ajero is a fractional president of the NLC.